Hi everyone, my name is Alex Hilton. Welcome to Conversations with Alex. If this is your first time joining us, we do have 3 previous episodes that will be linked in the description. Today I'm here with a very special guest.
Hello everybody, Malik Osborne, redshirt sophomore forward for Florida State's men's basketball team.
And this is my first time meeting Malik, so I'm super excited to have this conversation.
Excited to be here.
So first and foremost, I wanted to start off just recognizing an amazing regular season that you all had. I wanted to ask, what are you most looking forward to as we head into the NCAA tournament?
I mean, the thing I'm most looking forward to is just basically playing in the NCAA tournament. Last year, we didn't get the opportunity. We thought that we had a really good shot at winning the national championship last year, and this year we feel the same way. So just having the opportunity to play the national championship throughout COVID is just a special opportunity in itself. But I mean, right now our aspirations are just taking this thing one game at a time in hopes to win the national championship.
For sure, for sure. So talking about COVID, not only logistically, but also just from a team aspect, how has COVID and COVID precautions affected your season?
Oh, well, I mean, COVID has affected the season in a number of ways as far as just how the season played out and just how the team has been operating. I mean, I will start with the team. As far as COVID, I really think was kind of a blessing when it came to interacting with the team, because we spent a lot of time together. The fact that we knew that we had a goal in mind, and the goal is to win a national championship, and the only way to do that is to be able to play as many games as possible and show what we're about. So instead of just going out to clubs or going out to social gatherings, the team has just really been focused on staying together and just being able just to find out more about each other, just to increase our chemistry and our morale, because we believe the most connected team wins. So we thought the more connected we stay, the more successful we have been, and I think that kind of showed in the regular season as we finished second in the ACC as well. So, but also as logistically, the season, we didn't get to play as many games this season. We had a couple pauses throughout the season, which was also unfortunate. But every time I felt like we had a pause, I felt like we came back stronger because, like I said, we were able to stay more connected and stay together within each other. So, yeah, COVID has been not so great when it comes to the amount of games we get to play, but it has been fun as far as just being able to get to know the team more and then just to increase team morale and chemistry. So it's been some pros and some cons with COVID.
For us as well, it's definitely been a different season, and it's been a lot of discipline, which I know I've heard you talk about in previous interviews has been the most important thing, is just like that we have to learn to work together in different ways and to get to know our new members in different ways, because everything does look so different.
Right.
I can tell that you're a leader on your team. I wanted to talk more about you as a leader in other aspects of your life. Can you talk to me a little bit about President Thrashers Task Force and what your role is there?
Okay, President Thrashers Task Force, it's basically just to combat like racial inequality and just racial injustices going around on campus and in Florida State, just pretty much in the area. And so that's really what we target. We target just trying to make Florida State feel more comfortable for the student body, because we know that we have a diverse group of students, and therefore we know that Florida State is a university that's been around for a long time, so we know that everything may not be up to date that makes people feel comfortable, as far as just like historical figures or names that might be attached to certain prejudice or racist type of perspectives that were before we came to Florida State, before Florida State became so diverse. So basically this task force is just to combat those things that are around campus, those monuments, those names, just in order just to, like I said, make everybody feel comfortable. And we listen to the student body, and we also listen to just the local body of people who have some concerns or have did their own research and finds things that they know that they might not feel as comfortable, but they know that this task force is pretty much their voice. So we kind of help speak for the people and bring these things to President Thrasher's attention. Now, my role as far as being in the task force is that I'm part of the historical legacy subcommittee of President Thrasher's task force. So that pretty much, we research certain monuments, certain landmarks, certain things, certain objects or things around campus that are symbolic around campus, and we just kind of see what their history is and see if there are any prejudice or racist things attached to those monuments or things around campus, and we pretty much discuss and we think of alternatives how to deal with it, whether that be moving it or removing it all as a whole. Or I mean, the alternatives really can vary based on the object and what its meaning is. And we just also bring these alternatives to President Thrasher, and we pretty much have an honest conversation, a fair conversation, basically that helps preserve the history of Florida State, but also makes it comfortable enough for the student body to also roam around Florida State.
Wow, that's so important too. Just definitely like not only talking about racism in this moment, but also in past moments in history and how that affects our present moment. So the title of the task force is, I believe, Anti-Racism, Equity, and Inclusion.
Yep.
Anti-racism for me, for this, as we talk about this present moment, has been a huge idea and something that I think is like kind of a new word that has just been added to our lexicon. I am a leader of a book club, and we are talking about this book called Be Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. And he defines anti-racism as a powerful collection of anti-racist policies that leads to racial equity and is substantiated by anti-racist ideas. I think that the biggest, most important thing about anti-racism that we talk about in book club, at least, is that it's an active, like it's just active. It's not passive. It's something that is, you're constantly working to look at what you've internalized as you're growing up and what we've been conditioned to think, and combating those thoughts that we do have. So I think it's so important that you're part of something that is addressing racism versus anti-racism, and how anti-racism is different from being not racist, right? Like it's something, it's not passive. It's not something that we can just sit back and watch. It's something that we have to do.
Right.
So I wanted to ask if you and your team participated in any protests over the summer. I know with COVID it was really hard, but if there is anything that you and your team are doing that you would say is like your anti-racist actions that you're taking part in the season, in the off season, whatever it may be.
I'll say the thing at the beginning of the season that was pretty much in the heat of all the social unrest with the Black Lives Matter protests, and pretty much the people versus the police at that point, when a lot of those protests were kind of going on. So as a team, we came together and we pretty much discussed what type of action we were thinking about taking. We were thinking about kneeling. We were thinking about like all these other alternatives, just to pretty much show that we are against this, what's going on as well, as far as the social unrest and the police brutality and the police mistreatment of unarmed civilians. So like we really thought about it, and I mean at the end of the day, we kind of went with the ACC put equality on the back of our jersey, so we thought that was enough to show that like this is our voice, like as an organization, like as a conference, that we are against racism. We're active on that. We want to show that this is something that like we see each other as equal as far as our perspectives in the ACC. Like we don't see anybody above anybody. We don't think anybody deserves special privileges if like completely unwarranted. So like that's pretty much how we decided to go about it. Yeah, we thought about certain other alternatives, but we figured that this was the best way to go about it, which is pretty much just supporting and bringing attention to the equality on the back of our jersey when we play.
Yeah, I think it's been a super important. Another conversation is we're not working to further divide anyone. It's definitely all about just coming together. So I wanted to talk to you specifically about how you experience race and how you, as a Black male athlete, wear different hats, so to speak, like what your different pieces of your identity are that maybe people wouldn't expect because of what you look like, or because of the sport that you play. Maybe just because the whole point of what we're doing here is to show people that student athletes are more than just student athletes, and that we are many different things, and that our identities are shaped in many different ways. So just share with me some things about yourself.
Well, things about myself outside of basketball. I think as a guy, I play video games a lot. I'm kind of one of those guys. I like to play video games quite a bit, especially with my team. For our team, we're pretty much very big on video games. That's really how we stay connected a lot throughout the just COVID and just all the other crazy stuff that was going on around in society. We just kind of stayed together and played our Fortnites, our war zones. I mean, you name it. The team stays in the game. But as for me, that was always a big part of me. Like, that's how I pass time. That's how I release stress. That's how I just pretty much relax. But also, I like to do a lot of other fun things. I paint. I draw. There's been a lot of times where we had a couple pauses where I just kind of picked up a paintbrush and got a canvas and just started going to work. Sometimes I like to make music. I'm not saying I'm an artist for real, but I like to play around with it. It's just something, what I'm saying? I just wanted to explore other aspects of myself. I just wanted to pretty much get to know myself a little more during COVID because, when you're in season and pre-COVID, I mean, it's like we really didn't have time to breathe because everything was kind of going, everything was going. So now COVID kind of slowed everything down. And so instead of just sulking around in the room thinking, man, we're on pause, like, this is going to be so boring, I'm going to be pretty much trapped in my room, I just took it as an opportunity as to get to know myself, get to explore other things, just see other things and experience other things, because I might as well make the most out of this time by trying to just, like I said, increase my self-awareness about myself and my interests. So that's pretty much the aspect of me. Like, I'm a very outgoing person. I'm a very social person. But, I mean, even when COVID happened, I figured I was still able to be myself, as in just a person who likes to try things, a person who likes to experience things, and a person who just likes to have fun. So that's kind of how, I mean, that's Malik Osborne outside of basketball.
Well, next time you come, we're going to have one of the paintings.
Definitely.
We're going to have to share with everyone. Maybe we can do like a competition,
Probably.
painting competition.
We definitely could get that.
Okay, so this past week we just celebrated International Women's Day, and I wanted to ask you if there's any women in your life, any female figures that you would like to just like shine a light on in celebration.
Well, I mean, obviously my mom. My mom is a big figure for me. Just the way she just handles me and my sister. I mean, just handles our family. She's a very caring person. Always willing to just to give whatever it takes, pretty much, for us to be happy. She'll sacrifice so much, and for that, I'm just like, I'm in shock just for how much she gives, for how much she cares for me and the rest of our family. I mean, that's somebody that I definitely inspired to model the women in my life around, and also just model myself as well, just to have such a caring spirit and giving spirit, but also just to be so smart and so intelligent, knowing what to say, having so much emotional intelligence. Like that's a woman I look up to for real. Like, she definitely one of the strongest woman figures in my life. There's all the other people. There's my sister. My sister's also, I feel like she's just like a spawn of my mom, also just the same exact way. She's just all caring, always giving. She's very smart, very strong, very intelligent, very street smart. She knows, I mean, I think she's very, very, very wise, very smart. So that's another woman that I definitely want to appreciate as well. And then I would be remiss if I didn't mention Amanda Robinson. I mean, another woman on the training staff. She's a very, very caring, very giving person. She definitely has helped myself and helped the team to be where we are right now. Just being with her, being unselfish, being able to just on the spot, being able to treat people, whether it be something physically, whether it be something emotionally. She's always there for us and always there to support us as well. So these are women that definitely need to be recognized, and definitely people that I admire and respect for the way they handle other people in their lives.
I love it. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I always end my episodes with one question that is, what does the Unconquered Spirit, or what does Unconquered mean to you?
Unconquered means to me as in, like, I would really kind of associate that with just like the fighting spirit of Florida State. Like, I remember talking about Unconquered a lot before, and just speaking on just how it relates to basketball and just our basketball team as well. Just like being, like, I feel like the Unconquered means to me, it's just like us being able, or just like the Florida State Seminoles, whether it be basketball, football, tennis, swimming, just the fight and the passion, being able to, when adversity hits, just to being able to keep going, being able to not back down, fighting to the very end. I feel like we represent that a lot with basketball. Just no matter how dim the games look, or or how much we may be down sometimes, that we are able to just stay together, be 19 strong, and just plow through it, keep fighting to the very end until we don't stop until the clock hits zero. The clock hits zero. So I mean, unconquered means just completely just fighting to the end, being banded together as a family or as a team, and just being one solid unit, and just taking that solid unit against any other opposing forces, and just letting the chips fall where they may at the end.
Yeah, it's about unity and also carrying it throughout the rest of your day, the rest of your life. Right? Something you carry with you forever.
Exactly.
Well, Malik, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And if you haven't yet, please check out the last 3 episodes. We talked to Morgan Jones from women's basketball, we talked to Ashton Henderson from student athlete development, and Devin Flaherty from softball. So thank you so much for watching. See you next time.